Me I get death threat from my phone. But me not afraid of nobody. Me just do some work. And if the man them a mash up the country, me just do some work. If the man them a rob the revenue, all this church, all the school and hospital go operate. Me I do my work. You can't come kill me for do my work. Don't talk. In an easterly direction. A corporal was immediately shot and killed by gunmen whom we saw firing from the high-rise building in Tivoli. Right now, this was them little on the remand center top, then the Shetola Park school top, then the from the house top them and we cannot come out, then the from blood bank top, cut all the fire through the window them over here. We are going to cross the road and shop car from last night we not eat. A peer shot we can't go cross the road and we are home and helicopter drive up in the sky and that boom and pick me there. Yes, it's enough. Yes.
The helicopter is throwing grenade on the house. And the house is in Tivoli Gardens. I'm in the house under my bed and I hear bomb drop. I can hear the gunshot directly surrounding each the building, each house is in Tivoli and directly shooting at them. And they're saying, put on more, put on more. That's what the police are saying.
Hi, welcome back to our channel. In this video, we have 7 most feared police in Jamaica that a lot of gangs and gunmen are afraid of. And when I say most feared cop in Jamaica, I mean gunmen had a genuine fear for these police officers, even now, but not like one time like these 7 top cop I'm going to feature in the video. These cops I'm going to tell you about is the most dangerous cops in Jamaica that sets a foundation that no other police can take, unless they put in the same work they put in to get the job done. But anyways, before we get across into the video, leave a like on this video and also subscribe to the News 876 to get the latest update worldwide. Welcome again to our channel. Making our number 7 spot is a Jamaican badman police, the Isaiah Laing, the real crime fighter for Jamaica. A feared crime fighter immortalized as a badman police in dancehall DJ Tiger's 1991 hit. A rugged former crime fighter, Isaiah Laing, has been shot in combat 3 times, fired at 60 times, and has recovered close to 400 illegal guns in the 20 years that he spent in the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Laing, a cousin of former Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller, retired in 1996 when then Commissioner of Police Trevor McMillan did not renew his contract. Jamaica has one of the highest rates of gun deaths in the world. In the 3 decades from the 1970s, gun crimes and murders threatened to destroy the political system, if not the island. The fatality rate of police in the line of duty was among the highest in the world, as was the number of civilians killed by the police. Into this melee came a young police officer called Isaiah Laing. During the height of his period in the force, he had the dubious reputation of fatally wounding more criminals in the line of duty than any other officer. With his good looks, designer clothes, and flamboyant lifestyle, he attracted both interest and criticism. Point Blank Range skillfully charts the rise of Jamaican icon Isaiah Laing and tells the story of crime, violence, and corruption in 1970s, 80s, and 90s Jamaica. At our 6th spot, we have Radcliffe Lewis, another top cop in Jamaica. Former Senior Superintendent of Police Radcliffe Lewis reported to work at the Police Traffic Division for the last time on October in 2013, after serving the Jamaica Constabulary Force and his country for over 40 years. He was not feared by hardened criminals as some of his colleagues on this list, but tell a gathering of illegal taxi operators that Lewis a comin' in quick time, the spot will be empty. He was the stuff of nightmare for drivers who insisted on breaking a road code and was a constant thorn in the sides of bus operators for loud music, dark tints, speeding or operating contrary to their road license. A no-nonsense, strict officer, he was both feared and respected, and many law-abiding Jamaican citizens fell in love with his often comedic response to questions. At number 5, we have Jamaica's veteran cop Derrick Cowboy Knight. ACP Derrick Cowboy Knight, tough-talking and outspoken crime fighter, 40-year veteran of the Jamaica Constabulary Force Cowboy, is rated among the top crime fighters in the JCF's recent history. Knight spent 27 years policing some of the most volatile communities in the corporate area. A monster of a man, his physique as well as his fearlessness earned him a reputation that resulted in criminals doing their best to avoid a run-in with him. At number 4 spot, we have Cornwall Bigga Ford, the police that every gunman in downtown Kingston are afraid of. Superintendent Cornwall Bigga Ford, one of Jamaica's most colorful crime fighters who served the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, for close to 40 years, driving fear into the hearts of some of the country's most notorious criminals. Ford joined the JCF in the 1970s and retired in December 2015. Ford, who during his years of service faced off with some of the country's most notorious criminals such as Wayne Sandakan Smith, Anthony General Starkey Tingle, Nathaniel Natty Morgan, and Christopher Natty Chris Henry. He was someone who you can talk to. He was someone who was always there for you. He was never afraid to offer support to his colleagues no matter where they are stationed. He is also known for his investigating skills. He is one of those astute investigators, very good at his craft.
The flying squad team took on the investigation, and during extensive probe and inquiries and investigation operation, we recovered all the items here.
Wow. At number 3 spot, another crime fighter in Jamaica goes by the name Anthony Hewitt. Anthony Hewitt built up a reputation as a fearless crime fighter coming through the tumultuous 1970s, into the 1980s, and until his retirement from the constabulary in 2003. He was one of the most feared cops in Jamaica while he served, having taken down and out many criminal elements and gangsters in his time. Hewitt was media shy and always stayed out of the spotlight, but was ready to defend and protect Jamaicans at a moment's notice. During his time, Hewitt was seen as one of the no-nonsense law enforcers in a group that included Keith Trinity Gardner, Arthur Stitch Martin, Hector Benji White, Cornwall Bigga Ford, Devin Watkis, the late Reuben Robertson, Larry Trouth, Lloyd Thomas, Osborne Dyer, Donald Pusey, Kelso Small, G.C. Grant, Isaiah Laing, Calvin Benjamin, Reneto Adams, Radcliffe Lewis, and Walcott Brown. Tony Hewitt was one of the most loved, respected, and adored policemen by members of the police force and the public. As a leader, he looked out for the interest of his workers and would reward them according to how they performed. He was a relentless crime fighter who was prepared to confront gunmen in a bid to protect the society. He was a police officer who never indulged in excesses. A lot of his achievements were not made public because he frowned on publicity. He had a great sense of modesty and humility. He was not one of the police officers who people would demonize, and he was not one to fabricate evidence in order to get a conviction. Nobody in the police force could get more information than Tony Hewitt, which helped to solve so many crimes because he built up trust in people. He showed great respect to everyone, including the criminal elements. As much as I think that I am one of the most informed persons when it comes to police work, he was better informed than me. He could get more information than anyone else in the police force. He was the best police officer as it relates to fighting crime with strategies and skills and operating under meager resources. He was one of the most honest men that I have ever known, a brilliant guy and excellent police officer. I would have preferred to know that he died from an accident or natural causes than to have been killed like this. At number 2, we have a cop that escapes his death goes by the name Keith Trinity Gardner. When Keith Michael Douglas Gardner graduated from Kingston College in 1971 and returned to his alma mater right after to work as a laboratory technician in the biology department, little did he know that he would eventually become one of the most feared policemen in the 150-year history of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. That fearsome tag carried its share of dangers with it, though, for Gardner has been shot 5 times, most of them in combat with ruthless lawbreakers, and has escaped death on countless other occasions. Trinity, as he was called, was a fearless crime fighter who was coming to get you irrespective of how bad a reputation you had. It would be you or him, and almost always it was a bad day for the bad guy.
in an easterly direction. A corporal was immediately shot and killed by gunmen whom we saw firing from the high-rise building in Tivoli.
Finally, at number 1 spot we have the one and only Reneto de Cordova Valentino Adams, who is without a shadow of a doubt Jamaica's most feared and respected cop ever. Loved by many, hated and feared by all criminals, he is legendary in Jamaica, having taken out many of gunmen and gangsters. His approach was unorthodox and brutish, which earned him a reputation that drove fear in the coldest of Jamaican thugs. He was often criticized by sections of the society for his overhand tactics, as high-profile event just kept on racking up with this Tivoli incursion of 2001, which led 25 dead, the killing of 7 in a house in Breton and 5 in Crawle, Clarendon. Adams left the Jamaica Constabulary Force after 41 years of service. He retired in July 2008. He was the head of the now-defunct Crime Management Unit. Senior Superintendent Reneto Adams, the rock star among Jamaica crime fighters. As most Jamaicans familiar with his reputation as a crime fighter can imagine, retired Senior Superintendent of Police, Reneto de Cordova Valentino Adams, has eluded death on countless occasions during his 63 years on Earth. How was that video? Remember to subscribe to our channel to get the latest update in Jamaica.